everyone, Mike Rudkowski, Signature Signings. Today I just want to go over and talk to you about the top 10 mistakes that new notaries make. I know this because I used to be a new notary and I used to make these mistakes. So it's important that you can try and not do this. It's going to save you a lot of heartache and time in the future, as well as it's going to allow the escrow officers that you're trying to build direct relationships allow you to build rapport with them and get more signings because they know that you're a professional and you don't make these mistakes. So the first one I'm going to go over with you today is the notary doesn't confirm with the signer ahead of time that he or she must present a valid government issued photo ID. I wouldn't put that on the escrow officer to confirm that the signer does have a valid government issued photo ID. There's been plenty of times I've gone out to a signing and I didn't confirm that, and come to find out the name doesn't match the document, or it's not a valid document. So take the 2 minutes it takes to call the borrower and just verify that they do have a valid government ID or that they have the proper identification, like a passport or something of that nature. So in this example, this is a California ID. It is issued by the federal government or the state. It's got a photo on it. But if you notice, the expiration date is past due. So in this case, it would not work as a valid government photo ID. Number 2, the notary must confirm that the printed name of the signer on the document at the very least matches the name on the ID. So in this instance, the lady signer on her driver's license says, "I'm a card holder." But the document says, "I'm a platinum card holder." Now, because, as you can see, the platinum is not on her ID, she cannot verify that she is the actual person signing this document because her ID does not match the name that's printed on the document. So therefore, it would be an invalid driver's license, or you would need to get the document changed to just "I'm a card holder." Number 3, the notary doesn't have the signer sign their names exactly as their names are printed on the document. Now, in this instance, it says Alexander Sample on the document, but he has Alex J. Sample as his signature. Alexander and Alex are not the same, and there is no J in the printed name of the document. So this is an invalid signature, and there's a very good chance that the lender will send it back. This is the correct signature. His name is printed Alexander Sample. The name is printed or signed Alexander Sample. The name is legible. That's a good match. There's an exception to this rule, and the exception is if the signer has an illegible signature where you don't know, it looks like a 3-year-old signed it. But that is the person's mark, that's their signature, and that is also okay. Number 4 is the notary does not ensure the notary certificate has their specific state's proper notarial wording. So in this instance, I'm using the California acknowledgement. In California, we should have a little box up at the top here somewhere that has California specific notarial wording. So in this case, this is not a proper California acknowledgement, and you need to understand your state's laws and their specifics when it comes to having the proper acknowledgement in Jurat. Some states may not care, some states may. So it's important to understand each and every state's specific rules when it comes to your acknowledgement and Jurat certificates. This is a proper California acknowledgement because California requires us to have this box with the proper wording in it. Number 5, the notary doesn't properly enter the correct county or doesn't change the pre-printed county on the notary certificate to properly reflect where the signing is taking place. So in this instance, this is where you would put the name of the venue or county that you're signing in. This is showing that the county is already pre-printed as Placer County for California, but maybe you're not signing them in Placer County. If that's not the case, these are the steps to correct that. You're going to put a line through it, and then you're going to write in the proper name of the county. In this instance, it's Yolo County, and you're going to initial it, your change. Number 6, the notary doesn't properly input the dates correctly. Now, this is where you would put the date. Anywhere after the word on, most likely is calling for a date. You want to make sure this date is the same date that matches the log entry in your notary log. I know some states don't require you to have a notary log, but if you do, it's important that this date and that date matches. So in this instance, January 17th, 2019 is the proper date, as long as it matches the log. Now, this is just one instance of dates that go on certification forms, acknowledgement or Jurats. There's also dates sometimes, like the acknowledgement or Jurat may ask when your notary commission expires. This happened to me recently where I did not properly input my notary commission expiration date. I got my years mixed up and I wrote May 18th, 2018 because that was the year we were in, but my commission doesn't expire until actually May 18th, 2019. The document did get funded, however, after it were recorded and funded, but I did have to go back and get a new deed of trust signed, executed, and recorded. And so just be very conscientious of the dates, especially the years, and especially around January and December when the years change. Number 7, the notary doesn't print their name on the acknowledgement or Jurat forms exactly as it's printed on their notary stamp. So for example, the notary here printed their name as Johnny Randolfo Doe. Now, his stamp says John R. Doe. That's how he needs to have his name printed on the name and title line for the notary. John R. Doe, everything matches. Now that's not where it ends on this line. They also want to make sure that you have your title on this line. So the notary doesn't print the words Notary Public after their name on the acknowledgement or Jurat forms is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I know notaries make. A lot of times the words Notary Public may be on the whoops, sorry about that, guys. Let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation. A lot of times the document may already show Notary Public here or right over here, but in this instance it doesn't. So it's important that you make sure that's there. So John R. Doe without the words Notary Public afterwards is incorrect. But make sure it's stamped, the name matches, and have the word Notary Public printed after your name. And you won't get this document kicked back on you. I've gone ahead and made a little cheat stamp for myself. You'll need to check with your state's laws in regards to this. I don't know if it's illegal or not in certain states. I do this all the time. It saves me tons of time for every document I have to notarize. I just stamp my full name. It matches my notary stamp, and I have the word Notary Public there. I've never had a document sent back. And when you're doing 16 notarizations for a loan packet because they want a different acknowledgement form for every individual, this is going to save you a ton of time, especially if you have a long name like myself. So this is probably $8 through Amazon that I purchased it for, and this is a great time saver. And yes, I would definitely utilize that information I just gave you guys. Number 9, the notary improperly places their stamp over wording or places only a partial imprint of the stamp. Make sure your stamp is completely on the document that you're stamping and not covering any words or anything. Make sure it's not smudged. You want to make sure that your stamp is the last thing you do on the acknowledgement or Jurat form before you move on to the next page. Write everything in by hand that you need to write in and then stamp it, because sometimes your hand will smudge the stamp and that makes it an invalid stamp. So, whoops, I skipped ahead. Sorry, guys. There we go. So in this instance, see how the stamp is somewhat covering the letters here? That is not a valid stamp, and most likely will send something. They may send it back on you. Even though you can still see the words a little bit here, it's still covering up some of the wording. That could potentially make it an invalid document. And obviously, if it's covering up all the wording, it would definitely make an invalid document. So you want to make sure it's properly away from all the words and there's no smudges or anything on it. Blurred or smudged stamp on the document, we kind of just already went over that. But if there's any markings on the document or on the stamp, it's smudged, it doesn't fully print, redo the stamp, add a separate acknowledgement if you have to in order to get that on there. Just a little bonus for you guys. I would definitely recommend crossing out and circling the words in the notarial writing that help signify whether it was a male or a female or a singular or multiple signers. Some title companies, in my experience, actually request this and want it done. I know a lot of you don't do it, and I don't know if it's actually necessary or not, but I would still do it just to verify and make sure that nobody else can go and add anybody else's name to a document if they're a single female or a single male. This will definitely help create some fraud or help stop some fraud. So in this instance, we got everything here. It's perfect. We got the county change. We initialed it. We crossed a single line through it. We have the proper date that matches the notary log. We have the name that matches the notary stamp with the words Notary Public afterwards. The document said Alexander Sample, so his name is going there. He's a single male, so we're going to circle his and cross out her and their and the S's to show that it's not a plural, meaning nobody else can add their names to this document. And circle the his and the he's and the is, cross out the R's. Stamp your document, and then you're going to sign it. And because this signature is not legible, it does not have to match the name printed on the notary stamp either. That's pretty much everything for you guys. I hope you got some great information out of this. I would definitely recommend getting that stamp from Amazon if you can, or wherever you can get it from. It's a small $8 investment, but it's going to save you a lot of time in the future. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll take care.